to Sustainable Living. Today I want to talk about homemade products, something that I have been experimenting for about a year or so, and it started gradually. So there was a time I went through some financial setbacks in life, and I realized that nothing in this world is for free anymore except the air that we breathe, and depending on where you live, that's not even clean air. So even like clean water, we have to pay for. So it kind of forced me to relook how I'm living and what other options are available for me. What is maybe already available in my life and I don't actually realize it. So for me, the first thing that I had to start with was skincare. I started researching some other ways of creating my own face wash. So I made my own little homemade face wash. I just have to shake it a little while. So this little container, I haven't actually measured how long it lasts me, but I'm thinking about 2 months or so. Okay, it lasts quite long. The reason why I shake it is because it's a combination of mostly 3 things. So the one is castile soap, which I bought online. The other one was rose water, and then a little bit of kaolin clay. All right, so these products I bought, I think the 3 of them together probably cost the same as a face wash that I used to purchase from a local brand. And it was a really nice brand. I really love the brand. I had no problems with the brand, but affordability just forced me to relook and reassess like what other options are available. So the rose water helps with the pH balance, the castile soap cleanses the skin nicely, and the kaolin clay, I don't know how you pronounce that, absorbs some of the oil in my skin, and it also serves as a gentle exfoliation. So when this one settles, it's basically the clay that settles at the bottom, and that's why I have to give it a gentle shake before I start using it. So this is what I use for my skin, and everybody's skin is different. So if you want to look at different ways, just do some research based on what your skin type is, what the common problems are that you have, and take it from there. I've also experimented a little bit with homemade stuff like avo and cucumber and olive oil, and that was on the very, very early days with the fresh products. I must say, when I made the combination with the avo, what was in it? Avo, cucumber and olive oil, I did find it quite nourishing, and I think I did it last year in winter that I was playing with it, because where I'm situated in Gauteng, our winters are very, very dry, which can become quite hard on the skin. Then once I've washed, I have a very, very simple practice of moisturizer. It is aloe gel. At the moment, I'm still buying aloe gel. This one I think I bought for $100. It can easily last me about a year, or well, I think 9 to 12 months. And I literally just take a drop, just a little blob, and I smear it, and then whatever's left over onto the neck and on my chest area. And then I follow it up with a jojoba oil. Now for my skin type, jojoba oil, it really works. It absorbs well. And again, you're going to have to look at what is best for you. The castor oil is also very good. There's a lot of people saying a lot of great things, and I've also looked it up into the research. It's also very, very good. I use castor oil in the winter when it's very dry. Then wherever it's very dry on my T-stroke type of area, I will then add a little bit of castor oil or a little bit of glycerine. But be careful with glycerine. It can clog your pores. So it's good to have something that you put underneath first and then put your glycerine oil on, but really like just a little dab. Okay, so when I do use it, I just a little dab. Then I've started making my own vitamin C, vitamin C serum. Now, it took me a while to find the ascorbic acid. It's a powder, vitamin C powder. You have to be careful and make sure that you get the right powder if you want to do something like this, and do your research and test it on little areas on your skin. Now this one gets mixed with some rose water or distilled water and a tiny bit of glycerine. And then you have to store it in a container that is dark, so that there's no light that comes into it. I was fortunate I couldn't find a dark container, but this one is like a plastic layer on the inside, and it can last about 10 to 14 days depending on how you store it, preferably in the fridge. Okay, after a while the color will start changing, and then the vitamin C is not active anymore. Okay, so then the serum becomes useless. And this powder probably cost, this whole packet of 150 gram, and I think I used 5 ml when I made this up. This whole packet costs less than what one serum in the stores cost. So for me, that works. I am going into my 2-week phase now of putting it on 2 to 3 times a week. And then thereafter, I can start putting it on every day. And I already feel the radiance and the glow and everything on my skin. My skin is already starting to feel a lot better. And then, I don't know if you've noticed, but my hair looks a little bit not so fresh. So hair care became the next trial, but hair care was a little bit more of a trial and error. I used a local product, which I kind of liked, and it was kind of great product as well. But again, because of affordability, I had to start testing some cheaper products out. And yeah, it didn't go as well. And then I heard about some people who use apple cider vinegar to wash their hair with it. So they completely cut out shampoo and only start using apple cider vinegar. Now, it is about a 4 to 6 weeks transition period when you stop using shampoo and only using apple cider vinegar. It's not suggestible. It's not suggested to do shampoo and then vinegar and shampoo and then vinegar, because you're confusing the scalp. Then the scalp doesn't know how much oil it still needs to produce to make up for all the oil that the shampoos strip away. So yes, it's still very, very much trial and error. I'm about 3 weeks in, and that's why my hair is not as glowy as it's supposed to be right now. So when I used to wash with shampoo, round about from here on down, everything would be dry, but like it would look like grass dry. And then I would have peppermint oil, and I have shea butter oil, and I have a jojoba mix. So this is not a pure jojoba, and that's why it's a lot cheaper than my other jojoba. This is a mixture between other oils and jojoba, which is preferable for your hair, which is fine for your hair. It makes it more cost effective for your hair as well, but you cannot use the mixture on your face because the other oils can cause clogged pores. My hair used to respond quite well to shea butter. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a trial and error, and I really hope the vinegar process is going to work for me. When I first started with the vinegar process, my hair was quite shiny and it looked quite beautiful, and but then my scalp is started overproducing, well, continuing to overproduce oils. And that oil right now has come down to my hair to that about this portion is still very dry and grass-like. And yeah, but it's still going to be a process. So I really hope this experiment is going to work out to my benefit and work out to the way I hope it's going to work, because you spray in your vinegar. So firstly, you use apple cider vinegar. You have to dilute it with water, about, I think it is a quarter of vinegar with a bottle of water. I first used to just pour it on and then wash it, and then I started using a spray bottle. So I've got a little spray bottle, and then I've also added in some rosemary oil, because rosemary oil is also very, very good for your scalp. So what I do now is, before I climb into the shower, I spray my roots, and I spray very well, and I start massaging it, and I brush with a brush. I also brush my hair first before I start spraying it on, so that I can start releasing the dead skin cells and dust that might still be sitting on the scalp. So you start releasing it, and then I spray it on, and I start massaging it, and I take my brush into the shower and brush it all out and rinse more and so on. I think because this is now 2 days after the wash, and there's still quite a bit of my natural oil in the hair, maybe a little bit too much still, I'm not sure. So I think what I will do now with the next wash is to spray it on, do the same thing before I get into the shower, and then when I'm in the shower, I'll actually start pouring it. So just maybe take the spray nozzle off and start pouring it down, and just start working down here just to get a little bit of the excess oil off. But at the same time, I need the oil to go all the way to the tips of my hair, and then we'll see. So at the moment, I'm still using store-bought apple cider vinegar. And then 2 weeks ago, I had to put some dates on here to see. This one, I just took out the apple pieces today. This one now needs to sit undisturbed for another 4 to 6 weeks. All right, so it takes about no, this one needs to sit for 2 to 4 weeks because the whole process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. So a few days ago, I started making it two fresh batches. Okay, so it's just apples and sugar water, and then it sits, and every 2 days you stir it just so that no mold grows on the top. So 1 to 2 days you stir it, and it sits with the apples in for 2 weeks, and then you take the apples out, and then the liquid needs to sit for another 2 to 4 weeks to become vinegar. All right, and I must be honest, when I took the apple pieces out today, I thought at first I'm going to be disgusted by the look and the smell, but it actually kind of smelled a little bit like ginger beer. So I'm wondering if I should start making some homemade ginger beer. I have no clue how to do that, but we can look it up. So yeah, this has been quite an interesting journey to try and look at ways of living more sustainable, a little bit less dependent on the stores. I know how overwhelming it can be when you walk just down a beauty aisle just with skin products like facial products and stuff. There are so many options, and even if you can stand and in front of one brand, there are so many options between day creams, night creams, this serum, that serum, eye serum, lip serum. Then it's the exfoliation, and then it's the gentle washes, and it becomes just so freaking draining. I often felt extremely overwhelmed, and then you're spending a couple of $100 on one product, and then you feel, but this product's actually not working for me. Then you try another product, but now you've spent already money on this one, and yeah, it was quite a stressful thing at times, because sometimes business goes well and you can easily afford what you are used to, and then sometimes business doesn't go so well, then you needed to cut back on the budget and maybe try a cheaper product. And then yeah, it was always like a tug of war between what works and what doesn't work. And for the past year, I have been on my current routine and my face is happy. All right, now we're busy transitioning into making our own little homemade serum, which so far my face has responded well to that as well. And also now transitioning into hair care products. Then a little while ago, I made homemade soap. Now, homemade soap making, it smells divine because you can put your own essential oils and everything in. But I don't know how many people have tried making homemade soap, but basically if you want to make a soap bar like this, you are using what they call melt and pour. Compared to what I paid for it and how little was in the tub, I must say that's one area where I was a bit disappointed with the outcome. So the soap itself is quite nice, it feels nice, but compared to liquid body soap that I've bought, and I use it sparingly, and compared to what I pay for a decent body wash that can last me 2-3 months, and compared to what I paid for the mix and pour, melt and pour, melt and pour soaps that you can make your own homemade soap bars, it's just not worth it for me, I must be honest. Price wise, if I'm looking for something more budget friendly and more eco-friendly, it could be a very eco-friendly option, okay, but it's not budget friendly for me. So that's an area I still need to experiment in. I have looked up things where you need to, with ash, but you need to use ash from a certain type of wood in order to make your lei, and then you can make liquid soap with lei. But the whole process of doing the making the whole lei and having, you need safety goggles, and oh yeah, that just kind of put me off as well. So for now, I am gonna pause that one and just leave it as is. Something else I've recently experimented with on the body products. Okay, I'm reusing somebody else's little bottle, so I don't want to show the name on it. I didn't take the label off. It was a very, very nice body mist that I bought at a market very far from home. And it was a beautiful rose body mist, but there was no alcohol, and it wasn't alcohol based. But it was a lovely, lovely body mist, and I had it for a very, very long time. Then I recently decided I want to experiment with making my own perfume, because I happen to have rubbing alcohol. I can't remember what I bought it for, but I bought a small bottle for something, for some other reason. And it was also a pretty simple process. You needed a glass spray bottle preferably, because the alcohol can deteriorate the plastic, even though, I mean, the nozzle inside is actually plastic. And then I needed some essential oils, which over time I've built up quite a few different ones. and I think distilled water it was. So I've made my own little like fragrance, and I'm enjoying it. It's not your typical store-bought fragrances. I'm not gonna compare to any of those brand names, but for right now, for me, it's working, and I'm happy with that. And then what's also now happened, because with the current hair process, that's still work in process of sorting out the new wash routine, and to see, once my scalp is now settled and producing less oil, how much oil does the rest of my hair need, because I bought all three of these little guys over a period of time. They were quite cost effective, so I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm not sure how many of them I'm actually going to now start using on my hair. So I've got the mint one, and I've actually started using it as a deodorant, and I forgot to bring the bottle, but I've got a little roll-on bottle. The bottle itself is glass. The lid was plastic, so I managed to, with a butter knife, please just be careful not to hurt yourself, but I popped the lid off and I rinsed it out with soapy water, and I put some of my mint mixture oil mix in there, and I just added a tiny bit, because I've got mint essential oils, just a few more drops in, because this one is not pure, it's mixed with other oils, and I've been using that for under my arms as a roll-on, and yeah, it's quite refreshing to smell like mint. My kids seem to think it's nice, and we're now rolling with that. I do enjoy, I was thinking, because I really like tea tree oil, so maybe I should add a few drops of that in there. When I get my lavender essential oil, that's still on the wish list, then maybe I'll rather add that in. So I haven't done any of that yet, because I'm still deciding. But yes, it's been fun. I am enjoying the process. I've also made an infused, what is the coconut oil? I almost said coconut butter. Infused coconut butter, which helps for inflammation. So the other night I had a little bit of a neck muscle that was a bit stiff over here, and I've been putting that on, and I use it for my feet as well, and then massage it in the evenings onto my feet, and that also seems to help a lot with inflammation and just relaxing the feet and everything and so on. So I want to encourage you, if this is something you're interested in, explore. Don't compare yourself to the next person. Look at what works for you. Look at what you are willing to explore. Maybe you are happy with your hair care products that you bought in the shop and you don't want to change that. That's completely fine. It's perfectly fine. You don't need to do it because other people are doing it. Do what works for you, and just experiment. Do some research on these type of things. What is best for your hair care, if you have fine hair, if you're curly hair, wavy hair, whatever the case might be. If you maybe do professional hair treatments and you need different types of treatments for your hair, it's completely up to you. And whether you just want to do like hand creams or lip balms or anything else like that, just see what works for you. All right. For me, it was purely, like I've said several times, I think, sorry, it was because of cost reasons why I had to look at different things. So some people absolutely love making their own homemade soap. For me right now, it's not for me. The cost wise for what you get out, it's just, no, it doesn't add up. It was a nice process, and I've enjoyed doing it. The reason why it's so great is because I've put some very, very fine ash into it to give it an exfoliation. But it's not something that I really feel is worth my time and effort. So I would rather maybe explore other options and see what other things are out there. Otherwise, I will just stick with my store-bought body wash. And yes, there are some out there that smell very nice and they last long, and it works for me. My skin is not reacting against it. So maybe that's going to be where I will just stick to the store-bought products. But yes, with regards to my facial products, I'm very happy what I've been experimenting there. My hair care is still a work in progress. Hopefully with the next video, things will look a little bit more shiny. But anyway, take care, and yeah, just try and see where, if it is something you want to explore with, how you can live a little bit more independent from the economy system. I think we have gotten so accustomed to it, so overly dependent on it, in my opinion. And it's okay if other people's opinions are different, that's perfectly fine. I just feel that we've become too dependent on the economy, and that's why I'm starting to look at what is available in my life, what can I use, what can I make, and all of this. It's easy. I mean, doing the changes on my facial products, it was really, really easy. The hair care is still a little bit of a trial and error because you have to kind of prep your scalp, compared to if you're in a rush and you can just slap on shampoo and let's put on, rinse it off and then put on your conditioner and then wait. Whereas right now it's still a little bit of prep work and massaging and pouring and massaging and rinsing and pouring again. So it's a little bit of but it takes a little bit of extra time, but not to the point where I feel it's taking me extremely long. Um, so yeah, I think that is it. Okay, take care, and I hope you have a blessed week. All right, bye.